and welcome. This is Rochelle with the Healing Rose, and today I am doing a little walkthrough of the Elemental Empath Oracle, a self-love oracle deck for empathic women by Miyuki Rose. It is 52 cards and a guidebook. It comes in this really beautiful, soft, buttery box. So this is Rose Soul Art. You can find this deck on Etsy. So I backed their Kickstarter. Inside it says the magic is within you. It's a really beautiful box. I mean, if I didn't even love the deck, I would just love this as a place to keep my, they won't all fit. All my crystals. They won't all fit. Wouldn't that be nice if the crystal collection was so small they would just fit in a little tiny box? All right, so we have a very substantial guidebook. Very substantial. This is 270 plus pages of guidebook. So even at the back, there's not really like extra. There's a disclaimer and there's a copyright notice. The guidebook and deck are copyrighted. So, you know, all rights are reserved. Don't reprint, reuse, transmit without permission. There is the deck structure. There's a lovely table of contents. And what I love is that it gives you the glyph. So if you're not sure what suit something is in, you don't always constantly have to go back and go, okay, so the deck, the cards, the sections, what color are they? It has the little glyph here that is on the top of each card, so it makes it really quick to find and flip through. So we have earth, water, fire, air, and the cosmos. Each card has multiple pages. So this card here, we have 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's the shortest one in here. If we go here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and a bit, almost 7 pages. So most of the cards are substantial. Like, you know, I would say an average of 5 pages per card. It gives you a lot of information. It is trauma informed in its languaging, so that is lovely. If you're someone that's working through doing personal transformation, doing a lot of shadow work, it is clear. The messages come through very clearly, but they come through in a way that's kind, right? If you have to work on your stuff, yes, you have to work on your stuff, but it's not going to call you out in a way that's nasty or triggering. It gives there's a lot of kindness in the guidebook, which is nice. All right, so cardstock. All right, so I have Hay House cardstock here, and we are a little bit narrower, and at the same time we are also just a smidgen taller. So it's pretty similar. It's just slightly more rectangular, a little bit less square. So our Hay House cardstock has this crazy bounce to it. This does not have as much bounce to it. The minute you do that, it does start to get and hold a bend. And I think that's because of the paper stock. It does, like, I remember reading about the paper, but that was, you know, this is a deck that I backed last October last year. And then received just a little bit earlier this summer. So it's been months and months. I remember something about the ink they were using in the paper stock. It's nice because it feels like paper. So from a tactile viewpoint, it doesn't feel like you're holding a slick plastic piece of something. It feels really good in the hand. It is something that I'm mindful of, that I will just be a little bit more delicate. It is beautifully gilded. And I've been doing a lot of side shuffling with it because I don't really feel comfortable doing any kind of riffle shuffle with this because of that bend in the cardstock. You could very quickly warp the cards. So if I do a shuffle like this, I'm pretty gentle. It's still quite new, so it's not 100% broken in where it fans really beautifully all the time. But I don't like to do, and if I do side shuffle, I have a tendency to just go back the other way. If I've started to get a bend, I will shuffle, because I'm just shuffling for myself at this point, right? I will shuffle both ways so that I don't get too much of a bend one way or the other. And I find that that actually helps to keep the cards very, very stable, very square. So they shuffle very smoothly. They have lovely feel. So the backs are stunning. I'm going to see if I can just bring you down a little bit because these cards are so beautiful. I feel like they deserve a close-up. All right. So let's start our flip through. Okay, so this is an air card. Air has the little swirl. We have, I mean, I like these borders. I don't often like borders on cards. I feel like just give me the picture and a couple of words and I'm good. But I actually really like these borders. I like how soft, you know, it's not solid, harsh line. It's a little bit broken and it fades, and I really love that quality. So we've got our glyph, the number, the title for the card, and then a couple of little key phrases, right? Create reality, work with subconscious, and befriend mind. So one of the things I am loving about the artwork is that it's not super dreamy. It has a sharp quality to it that I like. Like, things are very in focus in this deck, which I feel kind of like goes along with the energy of the deck really well. I love that, you know, there's these little spots of light and then there's just kind of like this glittering energy coming out from there. And we see that repeated in the cards in different ways, right? Compassion. So we've got our glyph, our number of the suit, and then our keywords on the bottom. And we are color coded, so each suit has a different color associated with it. So that can definitely help if you're just looking at it. If you're looking like that energetic viewpoint, you can see which suit, which element it is very, very quickly. Air and cosmos are quite similar in their coloration, but the glyphs make it easy to differentiate. So there is a level of, I guess, photo collage to this, but it's not a lot of intense photo manipulation. It's very subtle. I love this card. This may be one of my favorites in the deck. I love the teal to the pink. I love these star beams coming out. You know, you've got your stars here, but then you've got the swirling energy that's flowing through. It's kind of fabulous. I love that this deck is it's very much all women. It's all body types. It's all the different skin tones. It's all the different hair types. It's not just like, you know, the kind of airy-fairy, you know, runway model stunning imagery in every single card, where it's that very, you know, I mean, there's a few decks that have come out. Every time you go to get a fairy deck, it's just like, it's just a deck of like 2 or 3 supermodels on repeat. And I find that to get old really quickly for me to look at. I think, you know, some people like that aesthetic, but I find it's It lacks a realism. I feel like this deck is very real. It's very grounded. It's, you know, it's very every woman. I feel like it embraces, all of us. I love this card. It's so beautiful. Like with, it's like little wings coming out almost. Oh, this one's lovely too. This may be one of my favorite cards. I love it. Unapologetic, be yourself, release societal expectations, be a mess. Like the fire, you know, and I love like that what's going on for what they've added in, like the little glyphs, you know, that fire element energy, the flames, like the mandalas that are added in. It's very, I don't know, this deck just feels to me very unique. It's not just like your typical photo collage copycat kind of deck. You know, it feels really interesting. I'm really enjoying it. The more I've worked with this, the more I enjoy it. And I mean, I've been working with it, so it's not in order. And it was in an interesting order when it arrived. It's like all the ones were together, then all the twos and all the threes. So that was kind of an interesting flip through when I first got it, when I first unpacked it. And I mean, there's a fair amount of cards here, right? A lot of, I'm finding, you know, there's a fair number of oracles that are coming out that are, you know, the 36 to 44 cards. So there's not a lot that are producing the higher number cards all the time. I love the tail and the little pyramids. Yeah, there's a lot about this deck that I really appreciate. I like the layers that are in the cards. They're not, it's not just a total copycat. I think that's one of the things I like the most. I think it's a very unique deck, and it is available on Etsy. So I will leave the link down below. All right, so let's give it a little shuffle, and then we'll do a little sample read. I won't read all of the stuff because there's a lot, but just a little bit to give you kind of a sample of what kind of information you get with a card. Oh, let's take this one. Why not? Okay, awareness. Key to healing, noticing patterns, illusions, pause. Okay, so let's go through here. So, fire, water, water, fire, air. If I remember correctly, air number 3. What are we on here? Air number 4. Okay, let's go back. All right, so why awareness? So it talks about how awareness is one of the most important aspects of our healing journey. if we don't understand ourselves and see things as they truly are, instead of just our limited view, we will forever be stuck in the same cycles and patterns. And then it talks a fair bit about awareness, the levels of awareness that we can have. All right. And then building awareness. A great way to build awareness is to pause and practice self-inquiry. When we pause, we create space between ourselves and whatever is coming up. And in that space, we can build awareness. So then it gives you reference to another card, two other cards actually, the Suit of Air, pause, and the Suit of Air, perspective. And then it says, lastly, this card asked if there is something you need to build more awareness around. Do you need to widen your view to better understand a belief or situation? Potential blocks. One block is the temptation to fix people around you. With awareness comes responsibility. Once you start to wake up, you simply can't go back to sleep, and you start to become aware of patterns other people have as well. However, it is not your job to judge anyone else on their journey or push unsolicited advice. See the card Earth, honor the journey. If you think you are superior to someone else because of how awake you are, then you are still asleep. Notice how you may be using your awareness to call out people around you. Where is this desire coming from? Is it a compassionate place that wants to connect with them, or is it from a desire to show them how much you know? Pause before you jump in. Another potential block is self-reflecting to the point that you are hyper-aware of all your shortcomings and past pains. You may struggle to see the light because of all the pain and blocks you are now aware of. If this is you, take a step back instead of digging for more things that need improving. Remember that you are doing better than you think. If you have a lot of pain coming up, feel the emotions, cleanse and release, and Earth grounding cards. If you are stuck in a cycle of hyper-awareness of all your shortcomings, pause and ask friends for feedback and behaviors. It says trusted friends. They can help you determine what you might want to work on and what you can let go of. And then it gives you an exercise for self-inquiry. Ask some questions. So it's like something where if you wanted to journal about your progress, or you're keeping an oracle journal or tarot journal, you can just, write about the cards, write down the questions. What am I feeling now? Is this belief true or helpful? Have I felt it before? What is my system telling me? So it's a lot of self-inquiry. And then, of course, each one gives us the model and the photographer for the cards. So yeah, I think it's quite interesting. I find what I have been doing for myself, since I've done lots of shadow work for years, so I don't feel like it's something I really like. A lot of the cards don't necessarily resonate with me personally with where I am. So what I am finding, I'm not using it in that way for myself. What I am doing is a lot, and I haven't recorded any of them because I wanted to do a little walkthrough and give a shout out to the artists and link their shop, so people can go and buy the original from the makers, from the creators. That is the best thing you can ever do if you love a deck. Even if you have to save up for it, do it. Don't go to Timo or Shane or whatever. Okay, so what I like to do is I pull a card and I go, okay, boundaries, reclaim space, inner and outer and energetic boundaries. Okay, so boundaries. So I would go, okay, so I pull that card. All right, so what energy to do with boundaries and reclaiming our space do we need to know about today? And then I'll pull some cards, and then I'll start working with the tarot with that and see what kind of message comes out, as opposed to just going into the book and doing the exercise. For myself, that's tarot is a tool that I prefer, and that's how I find I have personally been using this deck. I really love it for looking at energies, like what energies should I work with today and how should I work with them. And I pop a card out and then go from there and use that for my spread. I find that has been working really, really well. I have not yet actually really used it for doing like an actual oracle reading where you would do, you know, your 3 cards, inner child, surrender and flow, and abundance, and then reading them that way. I haven't really done much work with that. So it might be something that I start exploring more with this deck, but that's just how I'm working with it now. All in all, I can say that I am incredibly happy that I did back this Kickstarter, and then I got this deck. And I will definitely give you the link below if this is something that you see and you love and you're like, yeah, I want like one really fantastic multi-purpose oracle deck. Because it's not just a deck for divination. It really is a solid deck for, as it says, working on that self-love aspect, working on personal transformation, and just for that self-exploration. I think this is a really excellent tool to get in your toolbox. I do have a few different ideas for ways that I am going to be using this deck. So I encourage you, if you're going to purchase a deck, you know, do your due diligence to actually get the deck from the creators or from the publishers, and make sure you're buying like a real deck, because there's so much counterfeit out there now, which is just, it's just incredibly sad, you know, that someone can go and steal someone's work and sell it for pennies when people have poured their heart and soul and an incredible amount of time, like, you know, to write 300 pages worth of information to go along with 52 cards. That's a lot. That's a lot of time and effort and love that's been poured into a project like this. So if you're still here and you enjoyed this video and my little rant, I would love if you would hit that thumbs up button, and if you want to subscribe, I will put the links to purchase in the description box. All right. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.